Hey lovely one, Lauren here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. And first of all, I want to say a big thank you to all the feedback I received following last week's free movement session. So it looks like I am going to be putting together a kind of free movement series on YouTube. So you can look forward to that probably in the next couple of weeks or so. So whilst I'm working on that, we're going to move away from free movement just for a little while and come back to perhaps the more traditional asana within our yoga practice. So today's practice is a motivating yoga flow. It's designed to kind of pick you up out of whatever kind of slump you find yourselves in. If you feel like you're lacking in that little bit of inspiration, the drive to get up and go, this is the practice for you. So there's nothing too challenging in there. It's just to kind of move the body, get out of the head into our physical body, and yeah, kind of shift some things around. Maybe we can clear a little bit of space for that motivation to kind of seep in. So I hope that sounds okay. You may want a couple of blocks nearby just in case. Actually, we may start with the blocks because we are going to start in kneeling. So maybe now is a good time to grab them if you haven't got them already. So we're going to start in kneeling, as I said, and using the blocks underneath your sit bones. So gently bring the sit bones down towards the blocks, bringing the heels kind of either side of your hips here, tops of the feet down towards the mat. Knees can be together, or we might separate the knees slightly, depending on what you feel is best. You can bring the palms of the hands down towards the thighs, or you might have the palms of the hands facing up. You might even place one hand to heart, one hand to belly. Just go with whatever you feel like you need in this moment. If you need perhaps a little bit of grounding, a little bit of connecting to yourself, maybe that reassuring touch feels best. Maybe it's just kind of wriggling through the shoulders, softening them down and away from those ears. And when you are ready, you can start to close off the eyes, close off the outside world. Just invite yourselves to this moment here and now with whatever you're bringing to this moment, whatever thoughts, feelings, sensations, whatever is happening inside of us right now. Let's just be here for a moment with all that we are. So you might even feel perhaps a little overwhelmed at first with all the many thoughts and feelings running through our mind. And that's okay. We can take our time here to gradually filter through those many thoughts, those many feelings. And then we get to decide which sensations, which thoughts we leave behind and let go of, and which we maybe use in our practice. So if there's perhaps particular thoughts running through the mind telling you, oh, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, I'm not capable, let's see if we can filter those feelings perhaps out, letting them go and replacing them with the complete opposite. So I'm here, I am present, I am capable, I am enough. Just seeing what that effect has on us. It might be a physical effect. We might feel that little bit more ready here. Perhaps starting to tap into kind of that little bit of inner strength within. And again, this is a process. If we're not feeling that straight away, it's okay. You might feel it in your own time, and it might not even be during this practice. It might be later on today, tomorrow, next week or month. But continuing to let go of those thoughts that aren't going to serve you here and welcome in those perhaps thoughts of affirmation. Let's start to take a few deeper breaths in here. Let the breath be as easy as we can. Breathing deeply in through the nose, filling up the lungs entirely. As we exhale, it doesn't need to be forced in any way. We can just let the breath release out through the lips. Let's maybe stay with that for a few more rounds, breathing in. Breathing out. Lovely, well done. You can almost, again, imagine with every breath out, we're letting go of those thoughts that aren't serving us and bringing in the new. Let's take one more breath here. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Beautiful. From here, in your own time, you can start to flutter the eyelids back open, welcome yourselves back into your little yoga space today. Now let's bring the palms of the hands together. You're going to interlace the fingertips, and as we inhale, let's take a nice big stretch. You're going to push the palms of the hands all the way up to the sky, grow tall. Notice both sides of the body lengthen, almost like our first big stretch we have at the beginning of our day. You might even be able to take the arms a little bit further back behind your ears, opening up through the chest that little bit more. Take another inhale. And then as we exhale, let's start to draw a little circle. So imagine with the palms of the hands, you're drawing a circle through space. Lovely, well done. So this is where, again, we just get to have that little wriggle around on our mat. So you might start circling the body one way, seeing how much space there is to move throughout the rib cage, how much we can articulate through the spine. And then when you are ready, you can change direction. And these circles don't need to be too extravagant. They might start really small, really tiny. And then gradually, as the body kind of surrenders, as the body opens up, we might find there's that little bit more wiggle room. Okay. Let's take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. Lovely. Slowly bring that movement gradually back to stillness. Don't feel as though you need to come to an abrupt stop here. And then we can let go of the hands, just reach the fingertips all the way up, maybe growing that a little bit taller. Then exhale, let's circle the arms all the way back and down. As we let the arms come down, can we keep the heart open so we almost stay that little bit lifted here rather than automatically sinking down here? Okay, and then from here, simply send the hands out in front to lift the sit bones away from your blocks or away from the ground, whatever it is you're using. You can actually take those blocks out and place them to one side, just in case we need them a little bit later on. Walking the knees back just a touch so the knees come underneath the hips. We've got the wrists underneath the shoulders. Let's dial through a couple rounds of cat and cow. So as we breathe in, let's let the belly glide down towards the mat. Lift up through the tailbone, lift up through the chest, maybe sending your gaze to look ahead. Exhale, tucking the chin down towards the chest, rounding through the back. Can you feel the shoulders separate left to right? Okay, and let's keep this going at our own pace. So as you inhale, we gently rise up. And then as you exhale, we gently around through the back. Lovely. So don't feel as though you need to follow me here and follow my pace. See if we can start to notice how we would like to move today. So if you notice maybe there's that little bit more energy, we might find we want to move that a little bit more quickly through this. Or maybe we're just happy kind of drifting through into the lift of the heart and into the rounding of the spine. So it's your choice. As always, you get to decide. Staying with this for a few more rounds. Notice maybe again as the body starts to open up, we can find that slightly deeper range of movement. One more deep breath in. And one more deep breath out. Okay, let's inhale to gently come back to a neutral spine. You're going to slightly shift the weight towards the right-hand side as you send the left leg towards the back of the mat. Dropping that left heel down, we're going to reach that left arm all the way up to the sky, almost like we're in a little modified side plank almost, kind of stacking left side body on top of the right. Maybe look up towards those top fingertips. Let's take a deep breath in. And as we exhale, we're going to sweep the left arm up and over so your left bicep comes just on top of your left ear. And then can we see if we can lift left side body that little bit higher up to the sky? Beautiful. So we feel that deep stretch down kind of the left side of the rib cage, maybe the top of the hip on the left hand side. One more breath. Lovely. Let's exhale. Gently drop the left hand back down towards the mat, and we can fold that left knee in. Coming back to our tabletop, and as that left knee lands, let's shift straight across to the left hand side, sending the right leg back, dropping that right heel, and sending the right arm up to the sky. So straight away we come onto the other side. One side might feel a little bit different compared to the other. That's okay. Our bodies aren't perfectly symmetrical, so there's always going to be those subtle differences here and there. Take a breath in. And again, as we exhale, let's reach that right arm up and over. Lift the right side body up towards the sky. Beautiful. Keep stretching the fingertips away. One more breath. Exhale, right hand gently lowers down, and we fold that right knee in. Okay, so back into our tabletop. And then from here, let's tuck all 10 toes under. Let's take an inhale to, again, drop the belly down, lift up through the head and heart, gaze ahead. Then as you exhale, you're going to start to press your hips back towards the heels. Activate through the hands and feet as we start to fly the hips towards the sky, lifting the knees off the mat into our downward facing dog. Beautiful. So this is our first down dog of our practice. So maybe we take a little bit of time to wriggle here, bending one knee, then the other. Perhaps bending in both knees so you can really press the belly back to the thighs and lift the tailbone up to the sky. Beautiful. Notice how steady we feel through the hands and feet here. And let's take another deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Let's inhale to look forwards towards the top of the mat. Bend through the knees and steadily make our journey all the way to the top. So walking one foot, then the other. No need to rush. And we come into the standing forward fold. So the feet are about hip distance apart, toes pointing forwards. You can have that little softness through the knees and just let the fingertips come down to wherever feels good. So we might bring them to the shins or to the ankles. They might touch down towards the mat, but don't feel as though you need to kind of be really reaching down here. Just let the upper body soften, the lower spine, release the back of the neck, release so the head can hang super heavy. Take another breath in. And another breath out. Beautiful. As we inhale, let's bend through the knees, steadily roll up through the spine, stack up bone by bone. Gradually coming all the way up to the standing, head rises. Let's take a little shoulder roll as we get there. Inhale, lift them up towards the ears. Exhale, send them down and away. Okay, let's start to pick up the pace just slightly. Inhale, sweep the arms up, grow tall. As we exhale, let's hinge the hips, dive it back down. As we come into the fold for the second time, maybe there's that little bit more space to go. Inhale, halfway lift, fingertips towards your shins, finding this flat back. Exhale, return to your fold. Bend the knees, plant the hands down towards the ground. Let's take a little step back towards our plank pose. Now, as we step back here, if we straight away feel like it's a little bit too intense for us today, we can pop the knees down. So don't feel as though you have to be kind of fighting that struggle. Just take the pressure completely off yourselves. Take a deep breath in. As we exhale, maybe now we drop the knees if we haven't already. Hug the elbows in, softly lower down towards the mat. Okay. From here, let's inhale to loop the shoulders up, back and down, lightly pressing down through the fingertips, rising up to a little baby cobra, and just seeing how our spine feels here today. So we might have this little wriggle side to side. It's almost like a little shoulder shimmy. Seeing if we can create that little bit more space. Beautiful. And if this feels okay, maybe we then start to push down through the hands and wriggle up that little bit higher. Beautiful. And we can keep that little sway if that feels good for you. If you feel like that wriggle is going to aggravate anything within the lower spine, if we already have perhaps lower spine issues, feel free to skip this and stay low. Don't feel as though you have to rise. Take a deep breath in. Beautiful. As we exhale, let's come all the way down. Let's bend the knees, cross the ankles just above our bums. Take a breath. As we exhale, we're going to push the ground away, rise up, back into that modified plank. Well done. Release the feet back behind you, tuck the toes under, fly the hips to the sky, back into your downward facing dog. Beautiful. Let's take a deep breath in here. Deep breath out. From here, let's inhale and take that right leg up to the sky. Doesn't matter how high the right leg lifts, just take it as high as it wants to go. And then we're going to let that right hip open out. So we're going to bend in that right knee, lift the right knee up towards the sky as high as it wants to go. And you're kind of rolling that right hip to stack on top of the left. Beautiful. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. Inhale, let's lengthen the right leg, square off the hips. Exhale, right knee dives back in towards the chest. Beautiful. Shift the weight forwards towards your fingertips. See how softly you can land that right foot in between the hands. We land into this little runner's lunge. If that foot needs a little bit of guidance to get there, maybe we take hold of the ankle and kind of assist it that little bit further forwards. Beautiful. From here, let's let the hips drop down low slightly. Take a breath. Take an exhale. And then gently, we're going to push off that left foot, spring into the right foot, taking that left leg to the air. And then just trusting that the body is going to make it here, we're going to think about lifting the chest, rising up into your airplane. Beautiful. So you're going to have the arms reaching back behind you. See if we can find this nice long line throughout the body, sending the crown of the head forwards, tailbone back. Beautiful. Kicking energy out through that left heel. If we feel wobbly here, embrace all of those wobbles. They're only making you stronger. Take a breath. Take an exhale. Beautiful. Inhale, bend into that left knee. Bring it in towards the chest. Lift the chest as you go. Beautiful. Maybe we take the arms out to the side here to kind of help our balance. We might even take the arms all the way up. So left knee comes all the way into the chest. We can keep it here. Breath in. Or as we exhale, maybe we flex into that left ankle, kick the left heel out in front. Beautiful. So a little bit of standing strength. It's okay. We got this. Deep breath in. As we exhale, let's brush the left foot along the mat as we swing that left leg back. And again, we're going to dive the arms down, dive the chest down, back into that airplane. Beautiful. Slow and steady wins the race. Take a breath. As we exhale, we're going to soften it into that standing leg. Release the left foot all the way to the back of the mat. Reach the arms up to the sky. We come to a little high lunge. Beautiful. And if we came down with a little crash landing, it's all good. Take a breath. And exhale, let's release the arms all the way down towards the ground. Fabulous. From here, stepping right foot back, next to left, into your plank pose. Maybe drop the knees here. Deep breath in. Exhale, knees down or knees lifted, hugging the elbows in, steadily come on down to the ground. Inhale, loop the shoulders up, back and down, and again, it's either this little baby cobra or maybe rising up that little bit higher, and you can bring back that little wriggle if it felt nice. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, let's ripple down. Bend the knees, cross the ankles. Inhale. Exhale, push the ground away. Well done, release the feet, tuck the toes, hips high to the sky, downward facing dog. Full breath in, full breath out. Here we go, other side, taking the left leg up to the sky. And opening out into that left hip, so we bend into that left knee. You let the left ankle kind of hang heavy towards the right hand side. And lifting that left knee as high as it wants to go, still keeping the hips high up to the sky. One more inhale. One more exhale. Inhale, lengthen that left leg. Exhale, draw it in towards the chest. Beautiful. From here, see how softly we can step that left foot forwards, in between the hands. Well done. And then from here, sinking the hips down, lengthening that right leg back behind you. Maybe even take a moment to kind of lift the chest. One more breath here. One more breath out. Then we're going to push off the back foot, spring into the left leg, taking that right leg into the sky. So you've still got your fingertips down to the ground, maybe there to some blocks. And then when you're ready, trust, floating the chest out a little bit higher, rising up into your airplane. Beautiful. So you can literally imagine you're soaring through the sky here. Take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath out. As you inhale, let's bend that right knee in towards the chest. Lift the chest as you go. Maybe take the arms out to the side. Or you might sweep them all the way up, your choice. Keep lifting that right knee as high as it wants to go. You can keep it bent. Inhale. Or as you exhale, lengthening that right leg. Beautiful. Take a deep breath in. As we exhale, we brush that right foot along the ground. Try not to be tempted to put it down here. And then lifting that right leg back behind you as you start to pull the heart forwards. Sweeping the arms back into that airplane. One more breath. One more exhale. Sinking into the standing leg, we release the right foot towards the back of the mat. Take the arms up to the sky. High lunge. Well done. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, bring the hands all the way down towards the ground, framing that left foot. And then let's step it back. Plank pose. Breath in. Exhale, knees down or knees lifted. Hug the elbows in as we come all the way down to the mat. Inhale, loop the shoulders up, back and down for your cobra, for your variation of back bend. One more inhale. Exhale, let's ripple all the way down. Bend the knees, cross the ankles, deep breath in. Exhale, push the ground away. And again, we're going to release the feet back behind us. Tuck the toes, hips high to the sky. Downward facing dog. Beautiful. And let's take maybe 2 more breaths here. So you can wiggle, you can groove, have a little shake off if you need to. Take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath out. One more. Okay. Inhale to look forwards towards the top of the mat. Let's bend the knees, and again we're going to steadily make that journey all the way to the top. No need to rush here, same as what we did earlier. Coming back into that forward fold, and let's just hang here for a full breath in, full breath out. And then we're going to wriggle the feet about mat distance apart, so they're a little bit wider than your hips. Toes are going to point out to the side, heels are going to be in. Then we're going to bend the knees out towards the side so they track over the toes, letting the hips come down into your malasana. Now this might be quite a deep stretch for the hips here, so again we can use the blocks in a similar way to what we did before. We can bring the sit bones down to some blocks, so we literally create a little seat for us, and it takes a little bit of the pressure out of the hips, so you can use as many blocks as you need to here. Okay, but of course if you're happy without the blocks, just letting the hips sink down towards the ground. Let's bring palms of the hands together, elbows into the inner creases of the knees, thumbs towards your sternum, so again there's that little lift up through the heart. Beautiful. Take a breath. Take an exhale. And then whilst we're here, see if we can free up just that little bit more space. Let's release the right hand down towards the ground, reaching towards the right diagonal. Left arm sweeps up to the sky, little twist. Beautiful. So wringing out the body, letting go of the old, welcoming in the new. Take another inhale. As you exhale, come back through the center, palms of the hands come together. And then releasing the left hand down to reach towards the left diagonal, and we sweep the right arm up. Lovely, well done. Take a breath. Exhale through the center. Let's go one more time, both sides. To the right, right hand down, left arm up. Exhale, center. And the other way, left hand down, right arm up. One more breath in. Exhale, coming all the way back through, palms to hands together. One more breath here. And then as we exhale, release the fingertips down to the ground. Let's push down through the feet. Send the hips back up to the sky and enjoy that stretch down the backs of the legs. Beautiful. So you can heel toe the feet a little bit closer in towards one another. Lovely. Okay, so let's have a little sway from side to side as we release through these hamstrings. So the legs have been curled up for quite some time here. So hopefully this forward fold is feeling really good as almost like that counter pose for that. Okay, one more breath. One more exhale. Let's inhale to bend the knees, steadily roll it through the spine, stack up bone by bone. Head rises, let's take a little shoulder roll, breath in, breath out. Okay, let's make our way back down towards the mat. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, dive it down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees, plant the hands, step it back into your plank. And again, knees can be down or they might be lifted. Breath in. As we exhale, feel the elbows graze your ribs as you come all the way down to the ground. Inhale, loop the shoulders up, back and down, your variation of a back bend, or you might skip this completely, that's okay. Take a breath. Exhale, let's steadily come all the way down. Bend the knees, cross the ankles, inhale. Exhale, push. Release the feet, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Well done, full breath in. Full breath out. Let's move through another quick little flow. Inhale, right leg to the sky. Exhale, right knee in towards the chest. Shift the weight forwards. And again, see if we can softly step that right foot in between the hands. And then from here, let's brush the fingertips along the mat. We're going to rise all the way up into that high lunge. Lovely, well done. So sinking into that right knee, steady gaze ahead. And again, if we're feeling a little bit unstable, it's all good. Style it out, turn it into a little dance. Beautiful. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. Let's inhale to reach up tall. Exhale, circle the arms back behind you, squeezing the shoulder blades together so the heart is open here. Option 1, hands come towards your lower spine, squeezing the elbows together. Or maybe bring the hands to your back, interlace the fingertips, and then sending the knuckles away. Beautiful. So again, heart is super exposed here. Take another full breath in. And a breath out. Beautiful. Let's gently release the hands from wherever they may be. Pull the heart down to frame the right foot. So hands come down to frame that right foot. Left hand is going to stay firmly planted down to the ground. We're going to sweep the right arm up to the sky. Revolved runner's lunge. So again, there's the option to drop the back knee here if that's a little bit too intense for us today. Beautiful. Maybe you gaze up towards the top fingertips. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. Okay, now from here, if the back knee is down, all you're going to do is begin to reach right fingertips towards the back of the mat and see if you can look back behind you here. If you've got the back knee lifted, perhaps a little bit trickier, you're going to dial all 10 toes to the right, roll onto the outside edges of both feet. See if you can drop left hip down towards the earth. And again, we look towards the back of the mat. It's just a breath in. Breath out. Inhale as we push the ground away, lift the hips back up. Beautiful. We come through that revolved runner's lunge. And then that right hand can come down to frame that right foot. Beautiful. That's a deep stretch there. Let's drop the back knee again if it's not already. And from here, nice and easy, let's wriggle the right foot across to the left. Gently lowering that right shin down. Lovely. We're going to sink down towards the ground in our pigeon pose. So from here, you might want to walk the left knee back a couple of times, so creating space for the hips to drop down low. And let's not worry so much about bringing this right shin parallel to the top of the mat. So don't feel as though you have to force this ankle forwards, because that isn't going to work for all of us, okay? That's going to make this a deeper stretch, and it might actually impinge on the knees slightly. It might cause more problems for us. So if needs be, let's actually bring the right ankle a little bit closer in. So the right ankle might kind of come underneath the left hip. And again, let's focus on dropping the hips down towards the earth. Maybe take a breath in to lift up through the head and heart. And as we exhale, we might want to come down onto the elbows. folding forwards. We might even find the space to come down a little bit further. We might slide the elbows out to the side and let the forehead come down to the back of the hands. Beautiful. So we're going to spend a few moments here just as an opportunity to sink down towards the ground, find that heaviness in the hips. Lovely, well done. That might even be that really soft sway from side to side. But perhaps ask yourselves here whether having that little bit of movement, whether it feels beneficial to you or maybe it's a distraction. Sometimes when we're in these really tricky places, these tricky poses to hold, and we're feeling that intensity, that feeling that deep stretch, sometimes the movement can be a distraction, which can be a good thing. We might need that little bit of distraction. But sometimes it can be almost an opportunity to find stillness. So rather than kind of automatically going towards the distraction, see if we can really be present here, be still, be with the breath. And that doesn't mean we have to. If that movement is benefiting you, stay with that. Okay. And just take 2 more breaths. Steady breath in. Steady breath out. 1 more of those. Steady breath in. And steady breath out. Beautiful, really well done. From here, let's think about rising back up, pushing the hands down and towards the mat, lift the chest. Take your time as you tuck the left toes under, walk the left knee back in a couple of times. So we've got this kind of shorter way to go. We're going to push down through the hands, lift hips, step right foot back next to left, back into your downward facing dog. Have a little wriggle here. You might notice right leg feels a little bit different compared to the left. We're going to balance that out by doing the other side. So 1 more breath here, kneel down dog. 1 more breath out. Inhale, left leg to the sky. Exhale, left knee to the chest. Drive it in. See how softly you can step that left foot forwards. Well done. And then letting the hips drop down towards the mat. We're going to brush the fingertips along the mat, lift up through the head and heart, find that high lunge, okay? So we're very nearly there, just working through the sequence on the other side. But in that knowing that we're getting towards the end, let's try not to rush and skip through the motions. Let's still kind of be present. What are we here to do? We're here to find that inspiration, find that motivation. So let's take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. Inhale, reach up that little bit higher. Exhale, circle the arms back and down, squeeze the shoulder blades together. And again, you have the option of hands towards your lower spine, squeezing the elbows together, or maybe interlacing the fingertips and sending the knuckles away. Beautiful. So the second option is that slightly deeper stretch for the shoulders. Might not necessarily feel good for all of us, so maybe bringing the hands to the spine feels best. Take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath out. Beautiful. Gently release the hands. Melt the heart forwards. Hands come down to frame the left foot. Right hand plants down towards the ground. We're going to sweep that left arm up to the sky. Revolved runner's lunge. And again, we can pop that back knee down if that feels a little bit too much. Beautiful. So you can gaze up towards top fingertips. Still let the hips sink down towards the mat. Whether you've got that knee down or knee lifted, let the hips be heavy here. 1 more breath. 1 more exhale. Beautiful. Now, if you've got the knee down here, let's keep it down, and you're just going to sweep left fingertips to reach towards the back of the mat and see if you can look towards that left hand. If you've got the back knee lifted, dialing all 10 toes to the left, rolling onto the outside edges of the feet, see if we can carefully lower right hip down towards the ground. It doesn't have to completely touch down here. And again, look towards the back of the mat. 1 breath in. 1 breath out. Beautiful. Inhale, we rise all the way up. Lift the hips, come back through that revolved runner's lunge. Left hand circles back down towards the ground. And then from here, we kind of wriggle that left foot across to the right to gently lower the left shin down. Beautiful. Okay, so we're back down in our pigeon pose on the other side. So from here, we can think about lengthening that right leg back, letting the hips drop down towards the earth. It might also be quite nice to use one of your blocks underneath. Oh, I just chucked mine away from me. Bring it underneath the left hip. So it kind of stops this crashing, this rolling to the left hand side, especially as we kind of melt the heart forward. So if this is you and you find yourself kind of nice and easy on this left hand side, let's utilize that block to think about sending right hip down towards the mat as well. Lovely, well done. Take a breath. Exhale if you haven't already, melting the heart down towards the ground. And again, you can slide the elbows out to the side, bring the forehead to the back of the hands. And same on this side, deciding for yourselves whether that little sway, maybe it feels like that comforting rock from side to side, or perhaps noticing whether it's a distraction. Maybe we need just that time to be present, to be still with our emotions, our sensations. That might be the physical sensations of the pose, or it might be the emotional sensations of what the pose brings out in us. So whatever that might be for you, taking the time just to be with it. Hips are sinking low to the ground. Lovely, well done. Two more steady breaths. One more steady breath. Beautiful. Let's gently push down through the hands, gently rising all the way back up. If you are using a block underneath that left hip, let's gently take it out from underneath us. Tuck the right toes under, walk that right knee in a couple of times. And again, we're going to lift the hips, step left foot back next to right for our final downward facing dog. So again, have a moment to wriggle, sway from side to side. One more breath in. One more breath out. Okay, and then from here, let's bend the knees, drop the knees all the way down towards the ground. Let's keep the toes tucked. You're going to walk the hands in, rise all the way up to kneeling, and for our final kind of big stretch of our practice before we completely bring it down, let's take a little heart opener. So coming into camel pose. I'm going to run through a couple of options of what might work best for you. So maybe we simply think about bringing the hands towards our lower spine, squeezing the elbows together, similar to what we did in our high lunge, driving the hips forward, activating your glutes, so the glutes start to switch on, and then lifting the heart up to the sky and thinking about sending the heart up rather than instinctively thinking about leaning back. Okay, so we lift the heart up to the sky. Lovely, well done. If we're happy here, take a breath. Exhale, and maybe we stay, or maybe we see if we can release left hand to the left heel, or it might find a block, bringing the block to the outside edge of the left foot, and we may like to take that right arm to the sky. Breath in, breath out. Lovely, bringing right hand back towards the lower spine. Activate through your core as you bring left hand back to the lower spine. Love this. Take a little break before we come to the side. Tuck the chin towards the chest. Rising up here. A little wiggle in the hips. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Change the block to the other side if you haven't already. And then same again. Squeezing the elbows together. Driving the hips forward. Lift the heart up towards the sky. And again, we can stay here. Or maybe it's right hand towards the right heel or to the block. Left arm up to the sky. Well done. Take a breath. Take an exhale. Beautiful. Left hand comes back towards the lower spine. Right hand comes back towards the lower spine. Tuck the chin towards the chest. Rise back up. And again, there might be that little wriggle of the hips from side to side. And then feel free to repeat any of those options or having a look at full camel. So you might decide to use both blocks on the outside edge of the feet because we're going to be bringing both hands down. So we start hands to lower spine. Take a breath. Exhale, drive the hips forwards, glutes switch on, lift the heart up to the sky. And then one hand, then the other. So maybe it's left hand down first, it finds the block or the heel. Right hand comes down. And then we keep driving the hips forwards, we keep squeezing the shoulder blades together. If it feels good, let the head drop back behind you. One more breath. One more exhale. Beautiful. Tuck the chin towards the chest. Hands back towards the lower spine. Draw the ribs in as you rise back up. Well done. And then from here, let's untuck the toes. Send the sit bones back towards the heels. You can place your blocks to one side. And we're going to rest forwards in a child's pose. So you might bring one hand down on top of the other, forehead down to the back of the hands, or you might even reach the arms back behind you, forehead to the earth, to allow this rounding through the spine to counteract, and not necessarily when I say counteract to undo all the lovely work we've just done, but just to kind of give the spine that little bit of relief after that deep back bend here. Beautiful. Let's take maybe 3 breaths here, just sinking into the ground. Giving the body time to process maybe what we've just worked through. Let it sink in. Let that nourishment kind of take over here. One more breath in. One more breath out. And then as we inhale, just gently push down through the hands, lifting the head all the way back up and being super soft now here, rising up at your own pace. And you're going to swing the ankles around to one side, sit bones come down towards the mat. Gently release the legs out in front, and we're going to bring ourselves all the way down onto our back. So as we get that a little bit closer towards our relaxation, towards our Shavasana, if there's any extra layers you want to place upon yourselves, cozy socks, cozy jumpers, whatever it may be, feel free to welcome them in now. Lovely. So as we come to rest on the mat, we can really allow ourselves to rest in this state of peace, this state of bliss. You might decide to have the legs long, or it might be quite nice to keep the knees bent, keeping the spine fairly neutral, kind of letting the lower spine maybe touch down towards the mat, which again might feel quite nice after that back bend. You can sway the knees from side to side maybe. And if you notice your body naturally maybe moving in a particular way here, it's okay. Let's just lean into that body's natural way of, again, processing. And just letting the body simply unfold on the ground here. You might notice how the arms naturally come down by your sides, or maybe a hand comes to rest over the heart space or the belly. That note of comfort, that reassuring touch, allowing yourselves to feel held here. And then over time, just gradually sinking that little bit more here. Letting the breath return to a natural, steady pace. Feeling the steady beats of your heart within the chest, feeling the low hum of the earth beneath you. And if those thoughts start to creep back in, again remind yourselves, you are enough, you are capable, you are safe. Anything you need right now, let it filter in. When you're ready, take a deep breath in through the nose. Softly sigh out through the mouth. And again, deep breath in. Deep breath out. And final time, deep breath in. Deep breath out. Gradually starting to move the body again here, keeping it slow, keeping it soft. So maybe starting with the fingertips and toes, the wrists, the ankles. Allowing the movement to build. When you're ready, you might take a stretch, reaching the arms up and above, back behind you, taking a good old yawn here maybe. And then when you are ready, choosing a side, either the left or the right, and just gently rolling to that one side. Using your hands to help you as you rise all the way up, finding a comfortable seat. Let's nestle the sit bones down into the earth. Bring the palms of the hands down towards the knees, slide those shoulders down and away from those ears. Let's close the eyes as we seal our practice, as always, with the final blessing. May the sun bring you new energy by day. May the moon softly restore you at night. May the rain wash away your worries. And may the breeze blow new strength throughout your being. And may you walk through the world knowing its beauty all the days of your life. And with that, we bring the palms of the hands together in front of the heart. And we bow. Rising up when you are ready. Thank you, YouTube yogis, for joining me today for the little motivating yoga flow. I hope that has given you perhaps a little bit more inspiration to then take you through the rest of your day, whatever it is you're working on. And I hope you do have a lovely rest of your day, rest of your week. And don't forget, I'll be back next Sunday with another free practice with you, and I hope to see you then. Have a lovely time. Mwah. Bye.